This morning I am headed over to my parents' greenhouse. I am gonna grab some seeding soil and might as well take a little peek and see what they've got going on over there. So I just got here, so let's go on in. All right, here's the germination mix I use right here. And while I'm at it, I think I'm gonna also grab a bag of potting soil since I just used my last bag on that container we just showed you guys in a video. This is one of my dad's seeders. This would be really nice to have because it can pump them into the tray really quick. And this is his big dog seeder. This just runs the trays right through. You put the seeds in and then the vermiculite gets laid on top. And by the time it ends up, it's all seeded. This is pretty cool. Here's some of the seeds my dad has started to seed. So it looks like he's got some wave petunias coming along. Over here, he's got all of his cannas coming along. Oh, and look at this. This is when you know spring is getting closer, is when you start seeing the pansy seedlings popping up here. My dad is such a good seeder and I learned everything I know from my dad. So now let me show you something really cool. This is what they call the germination chamber, and this is where the newly seeded trays go first. So they go inside. And there's humidity in there, it's hot, and it forces the plugs to pop up. Whoa, it's steamy. Well, the camera keeps fogging up, but there's herbs and mimosa in there, and once they start popping up, then that's when they get placed over here on the bench. And that's why when I seed indoors, I start the seeds off in the Ziploc bag, because I use that as my homemade little germination chamber, and that's why, because I learned it from my dad. All right, I got my potting soil and my germination mix. Let's go back home to the homestead. And this is what's nice about having a driveway through the garden, is we can pull right up to the greenhouse with a heavy load of soil or whatever else, pulling up so I don't have to do too much work of unloading the soil. Now let's go into the greenhouse. We'll get stuff in there. Ooh, come on. Oh, there's ice down here. We're gonna have to get an ice pick, I think.
Time to battle the ice.
Yep, so this is where I bring in Jason. Yay, we're back. Winter out there, summertime in here. Let's get to work.
Woo! You girls ready to do some tubing and snowboarding? Yeah. All right, come on down. Woo! Yep, we're ready to party. Check out the equipment.
They're gonna go play in the snow. I'm gonna go play in the dirt. Have fun, you guys.
We will.
Now that we're out in the greenhouse, let's take a look at the update on that large container that Sayla and I just planted. That was just a few days ago, and look how much everything has been growing so far. It's looking really good. Jason's bringing me in the tripod so I can do some freehand filming here. Thanks, hon.
Yep, no problem. We'll be out at the hill.
Okay.
We'll be ready for some popcorn when we come back.
Okay.
Ready for the first run. Here we go. Here comes Lana on the unicorn. We didn't get as much snow as we were supposed to, so we're just kind of testing it out to see if this is actually going to work or not.
Things first, Jason brought in a container for me because I'm going to bump up our tomato plants here. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this pot up with our growing mix. Alrighty, so I got my container with soil. These are just the Matt's Cherry Wild. I'm going to plant them together. They're indeterminate. All that means is that they don't just have one time of producing, they continue to produce, and they usually need some type of a trellising. They get pretty large, but they're a very small little cherry tomato. They get little clusters. One of our favorites, and they're super sweet. So we're just gonna go ahead and break up some of that root. I know we're already getting some tomatoes on the end there, but I'm gonna cut these back so that way we get a nice set of tomatoes in another month and a half. And as you can see, these are all just little ones growing on the side, which when they're outside growing, a lot of times I take a lot of those little ones off of the stem and then allow it to grow. It gives more energy to give you more fruit. But for now, we're gonna cut it back and use those little growths on the side to become the actual plant. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant that into here. Oh, I don't really wanna cut that off. It looks really nice. Maybe I'll just leave one long. We'll see what happens. If it doesn't look like it's doing too great, then we'll go ahead and cut it. I like to leave a couple inches between the surface of the pot to where the soil starts. That way you have enough room to water it and the soil isn't flooded out.
There you go. Sayla's coming back up for more, right, Sayla? Go, Lana. All right. Good job, Lana. Really good. Here we go. You ready? Woo!
Tomatoes potted up. That was something that was long overdue. I'm going to go ahead and start doing our trial seeds. If you want a really detailed seeding lesson, we created one last season. I will add the link in the description of this video. For that video, it's called Seed Starting Indoors. It shows you step by step everything we do. But right now, for when I go ahead and seed start, I use these little seedling trays. I love them because it gives just a little spot for that seed to get started, and then we bump it up. So what I do is I take a seedling tray and I just go ahead and I actually cut out the amount that I will need to seed for each variety. So I cut a piece off. We're gonna try doing the lunchbox peppers. These are some of the seeds that we saved last fall, so we don't know how well they're gonna even germinate. So right now we're doing our trials to see if seed saving is even worth it. So as you see, I got my tray filled here. So all I'm gonna do is go ahead and make just small little holes. And always read the label of your seeds because some seeds don't really like much coverage. So we're gonna go ahead and put those pepper seeds in each little hole. So then I went ahead and lightly top dressed the surface of the soil. Hey, look who's joining us.
Little Sayla took a spill out there.
Oh no, she got a little cut?
We're gonna get the popcorn machine all fired up.
All right, we're heating up the pot. And then we'll put in the oil and the popcorn for these little kiddos. Ow! This is the wrong kind of watering end for watering seeds. This could blow them out of there, so I gotta move quick. You're gonna want a spritzing end or a light spritz water bottle. So when I go over it, I allow the water to go on, but then I also allow it then to kind of seep in there. And I wanna water this tray all the way through. And the vermiculite keeps moisture on the top so your seeds don't dry out. The vermiculite trick is something that I learned from my dad, and he does that with the thousands of trays that they seed for all 40 of their greenhouses. And I'm just gonna go ahead and place this in a Ziploc bag. You wanna open it for me? You wanna put that in there? Good job. And what we do is we close it a little bit, but I leave it open just a little bit. You still want aeration in there. You don't want to close it off always. That's like suffocating the seed and it's not getting any air. This is just so that way it gets heated up in there, and that way it steams up in there a little bit, and that's what pushes those seeds through quicker. Once you start seeing the seeds start popping up, I'll show you along the way, but then that's when you take it out of the bag and allow it to grow in the natural light or your artificial grow lights if you're using those. And where am I going to set my seeds? I'm running out of space, so we should have gone.
Oh, come on now.
No, we just need more benches. For now, I'll just set some of my seeds up here. Because I know for sure they're getting equal amounts of light right in the center. All right, is it popcorn time? Yeah.
Yes.
Get that oil in, huh?
I think I hear some meowing out here. Let's see if we got a visitor. Oh, yep. There's Fuzzy. She must have smelled the popcorn. She's been playing out in the snow too.
Once the oil's melted, the popcorn goes in, the cover goes down. I also a lot of times will put a little toothpick in here. I like to keep that plastic up off of the soil.
A popcorn waterfall, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
First, Lana, you want to use the big spoon there and you want to stir the popcorn around.
Like this?
Yep. Stir it really good. Mix the watch your arm though on that heated
Watch this.
kettle.
Don't touch that.
Let Daddy get in the back there though so you don't burn your hand, okay?
That's good.
Of course, you're the
I
first
approve.
to try it.
One kernel at a time here.
I know, you'll be here forever.
Or do you want this one to be yours?
You can have this one.
No, you.
My very own.
Lana, did you even try it yet?
Nope.
Nope, she's just been serving.
Is that good?
I know what we need in the greenhouse. I can't believe I didn't think of this
Coffee
before.
maker?
A mini fridge.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I'm going to seed up are some of our herbs. And I'm actually going to do those directly into pots. And with these ones, I don't put them in Ziplocs. I just let our herbs sit out and they just will naturally germinate. If our seeds germinate that we say.
We'll find out. Yep.
Can we go out now?
You ready to go sledding again, Lana? What about you, Sayla? Yeah? Okay.
Alright guys, have fun. I'm just going to keep seeding in here.
All right.
Well, I'm all done seeding. I got the greenhouse all cleaned up. Now just let me go ahead and show you what it is we've got seeded up. In these pots here, I've got a couple little surprises. I'm trying out the Pro Cut sunflowers in these 4 3.5-inch pots right here. We're just trialing to see if the seed will germinate. Right here we did some mammoth sunflowers. We're also trialing those for see if they germinate. We've got some broccoli. We have the scarlet snapdragons, bronze snapdragons, so snapdragons, some different salvias, delphiniums, our trials of the sun sugars and lunchbox peppers. As you can see, these bags are starting to fog up. That's what I want. So there's still air being able to get through there, but we're closing in that moisture to help keep these seeds moist and to help them germinate a lot quicker. This method I came up with because my dad has that germination chamber I showed you at the beginning of the video. I wanted to create a way that we could create those same type of conditions, so I started using Ziplocs. Usually I use the gallon size, but we only had quarts, so that's why I kind of had to cut everything a lot smaller. And over here we've got some herbs started. And then I'll come out here in the morning and in the afternoon to check them for water, make sure no seeds are drying out. If your seeds are drying out after they've been watered, they will most likely die and they will not germinate. So it's very, very important to keep a close eye on your seeds. Well, I'm gonna head inside and see what those little rascals are up to. So what are you little kiddos up to? What are you drinking?
Coffee.
Coffee? Uh-oh, you'll be up all night.
Chocolate.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Okay, how is that coffee? Ooh.
It's hot chocolate.
I know it's hot chocolate. How's yours?
There's nothing like cold sushi to warm me up after sledding all day.
Gross. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lawrence Network.